Marvin, first competitive game of the season. What's your thoughts after that tonight?
First thing I said to the players, I was proud of them, and I am. The performance they put in today, to go behind and then within that game twice. I can't even remember how it went, but to deal with adversity and to come back is a massive thing, and it shows the character within that dressing room and the belief they have within each other. So, as the first game, to draw 3-3 with a team in the Premier League who finished in 7th place is a good achievement. But there's things still to learn from that game for us.
No disrespect to the other teams in the group, but this is probably going to be the toughest test.
Oh, it's the highest ranked team, isn't it? Every test is going to be a tough test for various different reasons. So we're going to Elgin on Saturday. We know it's going to be a tough test for maybe a very different reason to Motherwell today. So they've all got their kind of things behind the game why they're going to be tough. So it was a tough one today to the Premier League team, but we're not going into Saturday's game with our eyes closed and thinking it's going to be a walkover, because it won't be.
Are you pleased with the level of fitness and much of the performance tonight?
Yeah, definitely. And that's always a worry. We've been in for 4 weeks now, so the boys have worked extremely hard. We tried to taper that down in preparation for these games, but I think they showed out there today. There was some players that were getting around the pitch extremely well. They'll only improve as well, by the way. They'll get better as the more games they play. But in terms of the fitness of the overall squad, I'm definitely happy with that.
Pre-season's been tough, but this is what it's been all working towards, and a competitive game is different from any pre-seasons.
Yeah, of course, and that's why I wasn't worried about the results in pre-season. I said that from the start, before we played any games, because it was always going to be tough. Some games like Gretna, we trained before it. And some other games we train double sessions on the Fridays, because there's a reason and there's a science behind it. So I want to put their body to rest, so when we do come into competitive games, hopefully they're in a better state than they were last season, and we can kick on when we need to. And I think we showed that today, because the Premier League team plays at a different standard to any other team that's going to be in our league. So they stuck with it. They did extremely well. There are things we need to work on, definitely. We will get fitter as well. We will get sharper. But in terms of a base, I'm extremely proud.
Surface?
Oh, fantastic. It makes a massive difference. Sandra, it genuinely makes a massive difference, especially the way we want to play football. And I actually heard a comment during the game. It was quite strange, as someone said, "We're not Man City." And the boys actually played through the lines and then got a shot away at the other end. And when I turned around, everyone was laughing and a lot of people were clapping. So listen, we're not Man City, but we're a team that's going to try and play football in the right way, and also get results doing that.
The squad tonight, few missing. Daniel Church has come in, not featured.
Yeah.
Ian Wilson missing.
Yeah.
What's the situation with injured players?
Yeah, so we've got 5 players out at the moment. We've got Lewis Gibson, obviously injured. Daniel Church, who you mentioned there, who was training now, so he'll be back very, very soon. Jack Bryden obviously pulled his hamstring against Dundee United. Carl Docherty in training before the Gretna game pulled his calf, and Ian Wilson got a bruised foot against East Kilbride. So we're waiting for these boys to return. As I said, Daniel Church is basically back now. It's just about building up his levels of fitness and building up his training, and hopefully the other boys aren't too far behind.
Some of the young boys in the squad tonight on the bench. Finlay Kennedy featured pre-season pretty much, wasn't there tonight? Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, so this is probably a chapter from my book. Finley's had a family holiday booked from last year, and decided to go to Turkey for 10 days. So he's not available for this game and the Elgin game, and it's something that we're going to have to assess as a squad. Obviously, a professional football club, so that's something that I'm going to have to deal with. That's the reason that Finley's not here today, because he's on holiday.
Some of the other ones, though, Ben Johnson coming on, involved tonight. Yeah,
listen, we've had, I think, 5 or 6 young boys on the bench today, and they're there because they deserve it, and they're there because the opportunities have come up because of the injuries. And Ben goes onto the pitch and puts himself about, gives us energy, what we've asked him to do. He goes in for 50-50, which is losing its place in the game. It was fantastic because Lennon's only 16 years of age and he bounces straight back up. Ben's slightly older, and they both just get up and get on with the game. It was fantastic to see a hard tackle, yes, 50-50. Ben gets a booking for it. He probably is slightly late, but that's what football's about. And to play in this football team, you're going to have to put your body on the line, and Ben went and did that today. So it was good to see him out there.
And also, you talked about going to Elgin, different challenge again, different test.
Yeah, definitely a different challenge, and I'll get home tonight and I'll start working on kind of the game plan for the Elgin, and then I'll be in with the staff tomorrow and we'll go over it again. It'll be a different test, but what can't happen is our levels of performance and our energy levels can't come down. You know, that's the standard. That's the lowest it should be at, because that's the first competitive game. It should only be going in one direction, and I'll make sure that happens. I spoke to the boys about being professional off the pitch, which is vastly important. You know, to be a professional footballer, and you know that's the reason why some aren't here now, because they weren't able to adhere to that. But you know, this group know what it's about, and you know, and I think they've shown that today. They've been doing things right on the pitch and training, and off the pitch, because they, you know, went out there with that energy today.
Set a standard for themselves?
They have. They set a standard for themselves and for the football club. And as I said, you know, we'll only get stronger with it. Those 5 players I've mentioned there are going to come back into the frame as well. You know, it's good to see Harvey come on and make his debut today. He's probably 2 or 3 weeks behind. You know, obviously he's not been in pre-season, whole of pre-season with us, and then we'll be adding to the group as well. So the group will only get stronger, and the young boys have to have a fight on their hands to keep their place in the squad, and so does everybody else.
When we spoke last week, you talked about looking at maybe bringing in still 4 or 5. Is
Yeah,
that still the case?
That's still the case, yeah. You know, and it's about being patient with it. We are going to bring in more players, because we need to bring in more players. I have a number of players that I want to work with, and I've said that from the start, but we're not going to rush into anything, you know, and if there's opportunity for young boys to play, then they will play, as they've shown today. You know, we're not massively pressed in terms of needing to bring players in, but we will bring players in to make the squad more competitive.